Hello again, everybody, on TransByDef. This is Katie. This week's topic is verbal and nonverbal communication. So, pretty straightforward. Basically just going into what makes things easier as far as making you more passable and not be kind of, I guess, draw attention in a way. For me, that was something I kind of put off in certain ways until after I started transitioning. It wasn't until I started noticing my timeline for going full-time started getting bumped up a little bit more, that I was like, oh crap, I gotta start working on shit. But as far as verbal, working on your voice, your inflection, there's a lot to it. And I really didn't realize it until I started going into it. I started by looking at different YouTube videos and reading a bunch of stuff online. But one thing that really helped the most, after getting the general idea of what I needed to do to get where I wanted voice-wise, biggest thing to help me was I had two things I downloaded. One was, and it's, if you're using Android, it's an app called G-Strings. And you get, let's see here if it goes, a little tuner, and it will tell you the range and everything. So that app helped me figure out how to get my voice to a more feminine level. Another app I used consistently, which worked out really well. Where is it? There it is. Again, free because, well, I'm broke as shit, so yeah. What was the name of it? Damn it. I had it up and I took it away. It's just called Voice Recorder. I don't have any of mine up because I just flashed my phone. I haven't dumped, but I had like tons and tons of recordings. I would sit there and do recordings of me reading books, even like, and I know this sounds weird, I'm in IT, so I would start slipping up doing technical terms, stupid little things you wouldn't realize. But yeah, so what I did was I actually dug up a bunch of presentations that I used to do for different companies I worked for when I was an IT engineer, and I would read the whole presentation and record it, play it back, and figure out what I needed to do and work on as far as getting my voices up to that proper level and keeping it. Now that's the key thing that is really, really hard. You can do it in private all you want, as far as being able to maintain a female voice, but you start getting around friends and family, people you're comfortable around. You'll start out talking feminine, and then you'll start kind of trailing backwards into your old voice. Like, I'd be sitting there, and I am doing this just as an example because, well, I rarely go back to my old voice. I'd be sitting talking like this, and I would just start kind of gradually going back down and getting more comfortable and just kind of slowly going back to my old voice. So, yeah, that's what it is.
your old voice is always going to be still there. You can always go back to it. It's more of a mental thing. You'll get to a point where, all right.
All right, so you'll get to a point where you can flip back to your female voice, and I really hate going back to the full old male voice. I really hate doing that. I only use it for purposes like this. But, yeah, just, it's kind of a mental thing to where you wake up, you got to, anything you're doing, the easiest thing for me to keep it in my mind was to, the second I wake up, anything, be it yawn, talk to myself, whatever, use my female voice. And the more and more I did that, the more and more I found myself not slipping backwards, not trailing off into kind of a pseudo guy, kind of monotone type voice. So, yeah, crap. This always happens too. If I slip back, my throat gets dry. It's another thing. When you start working on your voice, keep plenty of water around. Learn that the hard way. Definitely the hard way. 'Cause that shit hurts. You also put a strain on your vocal cords. Don't push it too hard. That's another thing. I've also had to learn, and everybody on here has kind of watched, is since I recently got sick, my voice started going to that kind of in-between, kind of crappy tone. I actually lost my voice, and then I got kind of, because I got so sick for a while, I couldn't get to my feminine voice at all. So any communication I did, I had to kind of do it in kind of a grumbly voice. And a lot of my friends finally had to kick me in the head of, well, girls lose their voice also. And when they do, it doesn't sound very feminine also. So kind of helped me. But I've also had to do vocal exercises again to work on my vocal cords to get it back up where it was, because I just couldn't get it there, and I had to basically start over doing recordings and everything else, which really sucked. So, but that's pretty much it for the verbal, almost. Well, as far as verbal, one thing is, another thing, if you get a chance, you're calling places, call and order a pizza or something in your female voice. That helped me a lot. That also boosted my confidence. Since I've been doing this and using my voice, I always get ma'amed on the phone. So I haven't gotten misgendered on the phone in quite a long time, which is so awesome, such a confidence booster. Now, as far as nonverbal, that's where the fun begins. Some ways I got lucky. I've always had, as people see, my hands are never still. My hands project everything I do. And they're always been in kind of a feminine manner. So, but there's much more to it, and I've learned this kind of the hard way. And this is one thing my ex told me, is I used to walk very, very stiff, to where, like, I would not move my arms or anything. I'd walk, as she put it, it seemed like a Frankenstein type thing. Watch women and how they walk. They kind of sway. They move their arms. Their bodies are very loose. And that took a lot for me, and I still have to work on that. Especially like movements like I've just finally started going out jogging and like power walking and things like that. And I get scared even now, like going out and doing that, to where it's like, oh God, am I communicating my body movements as feminine? So yeah, there's a lot to it as far as being read. Another big thing that I learned right away, and that was told to me by the person who helped me quite a bit, who's been kind of like my mentor or like my other mother, is confidence in yourself is another form of nonverbal communication as far as how your body language is, and how you present yourself. You're not saying anything, but if you walk into a place to where in your mind 100% you think and you know that you're passable and you're confident in that, people aren't going to really look for things. My first time out, really, when I started transitioning, like I said in my other video, I was scared to death. And like I said, my other mom, she just sat there telling me over my shoulder, just be confident, don't be nervous, just walk in like everything's normal. And you know what? It worked. So, and I've gone into other places. It was like, oh, what was it? It was like a couple weeks later, I went out and I started getting, and I was with my ex, and I was starting to go into panic mode. And yeah, evidently my ex even said I drew so much attention to myself, even though she said I looked passable and everything. I drew attention to myself because of that, my nervousness and everything. So that's definitely a thing to work on as far as just a nonverbal portion of it. But I mean, people don't look for things as much as you would think. That's another thing that goes along with the confidence. If you're confident in how you look and everything, people aren't going to sit there and look at you and go, there's something off here, let me figure it out. And then they start figuring every other little thing out. So, yeah. Confidence goes a long, long way. And that took a lot to get into my head. But, yeah, nonverbal is mainly, to me, is mannerisms, body movements, body language of all types. I mean, even in, some people say, well, you need to dress more feminine and everything. I mean, hell, I go out like this. I'm wearing a simple girl's t-shirt, skinny jeans, and sneakers. That's what I wear most of the time. I don't go over the top. I'll be honest, I have never wore a dress. I just finally, yesterday, bought a skirt because I plan to wear it to Thanksgiving just to shock my mother. So, but yeah, it's all in basically how you present yourself and how you see yourself, and that expands out as how people see you. So, I mean, hell, I went to the mall like this today. I went shopping. So, never got misgendered at all. Got ma'am the whole time. went out to eat the whole 9 yards. Went to the grocery store, had some bagger boy want to help me load my groceries, which was so sweet of him. But yeah, I mean, it's just all in. It's like I said, it's just all in your mind, a lot of it, as far as the nonverbal. If you think you're female, you act like you're female, people are going to perceive you as female. So that's pretty much it for now. I'm going to leave it at that. So till next week, bye.